we live upon is full of wonders and mysteries that always excite me up. There are so many places around the world that have buried secrets which science has not able to solve even today. In this video, we have brought 5 of the most mysterious places in the world where things are not as they seem to appear. First, Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a triangular area in the Atlantic Ocean between Florida, Bermuda Islands and Puerto Rico, situated in the part of the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean, spanning an area of about 1 million square kilometers, where a number of aircraft and ships are said to have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Mystery around the notorious Bermuda Triangle continues to intrigue scientists as well as regular people. There are numerous theories and possibilities surrounding it, but no concrete conclusions that unravel the secret behind the weird disappearances of flights and ships passing the triangle's territory. Over the last 100 years or so, there have been numerous inexplicable disappearances. Thousands of people and hundreds of ships and aircrafts have gone missing from this area. On rare occasions, the ships have been found but without the managing crew and all the supplies intact. And on other occasions, they have disappeared like they never even existed, just vanished in thin air. On some accounts, debris has been washed ashore, including radars and compasses with no apparent glitch in them. No one till this day knows the truth behind these disappearances, but a few claim to have unearthed the Bermuda Triangle truth. Over the last few decades, several theories have been put forward by various scientists. However, none of them explain all the incidents completely, and the mystery around the Devil's Triangle continues till date. Second, Aokigahara, Japan. Aokigahara, or also known as the Sea of Trees, is a dense forest on the northwestern flank of Mount Fuji on the island of Honshu in Japan. The forest ground is uneven and riddled with small caves, moss-covered roots growing on top of the dried lava that once flowed there. The soil has a high iron content which interferes with GPS and cell phone signals, due to which people tend to get lost very easily. However, the forest is now known as one of the most haunted places in Japan due to the number of suicides in the last few decades. Some people claim that they are attracted toward the forest and negative thoughts encourage them to commit suicide. The popular legend says that the Aokigahara forest is home to many ghosts called yurei in Japanese. This is part of what leads to the eerie atmosphere that many people report experiencing when in the forest, regardless of whether or not they believe in these spirits. What makes it more mysterious is its silence. Though you would expect a forest to be filled with sounds of the various birds and wild animals, the Aokigahara forest has no such sounds, which visitors note is frighteningly isolating. The vast amount of trees also makes the forest feel very dark and overcast even when the sun is out. There are also legends within Japanese mythology that believe the forest is home to demons. Because of this, many Japanese people will refrain from entering the forest for any reason. Third, Richat Structure, Mauritania. The Richat Structure, or the Eye of Sahara, is a highly symmetrical, deeply eroded, slightly elliptical dome with a diameter of 40 kilometers in the Sahara's Edrar Plateau near Ouaddaine, west central Mauritania, northwest Africa. The Richat Structure was first described in between the 1930s and 1940s as Richat Crater or Richat Buttonhole. In 1948, Richard Mollard considered it to be the result of a laccolithic thrust or volcanic eruption. Later, its origin was briefly considered as an impact structure caused by an asteroid. But a closer study discarded all these theories, as the highly symmetrical concentric structures could not be formed by such events. The question whether it is a result of natural phenomenon or it is a man-made artificial structure is still not answered completely. One more theory about the Richat structure can be found in the works of Plato, who described a similar structure of the city of Atlantis, the lost city of the earlier civilization. Fourth, Easter Island. Easter Island is an island and special territory of Chile in the southeastern Pacific Ocean at the southeasternmost point of the Polynesian Triangle in Oceania. The first European seafarers who landed on Easter Island at the beginning of the 18th century could hardly believe their eyes when they saw hundreds of colossal statues lying scattered all over the island, some of which were between 33 and 66 feet high and weighed as high as 50 tons. The biggest mystery that still remains unsolved is that how these massive statues were moved to their present site. Originally, these statues also wore hats that weighed more than 10 tons per piece. But what raises eyebrows is that the type of stone used for the hats is completely different from that of the bodies found at different sites. So exactly how were all these colossus moved? Easter Island lies far away from any continent or civilization and no trees grow on the island because of the volcanic eruptions. The usual explanation that, like the pyramids of the Egypt, the giant stones could have been moved on wooden rollers is not feasible in this case. In addition, the island can hardly support about 2,000 inhabitants, which is far less for such statues to be made. Then who did the work and how did they manage it? What was the purpose behind carving of such gigantic statues? And most importantly, why do the statues stand around the edge of the island and not in the interior part? Unfortunately, nobody has the answers to any of these questions yet, and most probably not even in the future, because the first European missionaries who landed on the island burned the wooden tablets with inscriptions, prohibited the ancient cults of the gods, and did away with every kind of tradition. However, an orally transmitted legend talks about flying men that landed on the island and lighted fires in ancient times. 5th, Bangarh Fort. The Bangarh Fort is a 16th century fort built in the Rajasthan state of India during the rule of Bhagwant Das as the residence of his second son Madho Singh. With a sign put up by the Archaeological Survey of India prohibiting visitors post-sunset, the sprawling fort and its immediate premises are now known as the most haunted site in India. According to legends, it was built after getting approval from ascetic Guru Balunath, who meditated at this place. The ascetic made the king swear that the fort's shadows would not touch his area of meditation. But the king failed to keep his promise. As soon as the shadows touched his spot, Guru Balunath cursed the village to remain roofless. Even if a roof is built today, it collapses soon after. Another folklore is about Tantric Singhia, who fell in love with Princess Ratnavati. He tried to use magic to win her over, but the princess got to know of his evil plans and ordered to get him killed. Before the Tantric died, he too cursed the residents of the fort to die and the village dwellers to remain roofless forever. People claim to have heard screams, voices of women crying, sounds of bangles and eerie noises in the fort premises after the sunset. What's more horrific is that anyone who has tried to spend the night inside the fort has never ever made it alive. These were some of the most mysterious places around the globe, but the list does not end here. There are several more that we could not include. So, do you know about more such places? Do tell us in the comment sections.